Alright, today we're going to look at Lesson 5, Unit 5, Lesson 1, and we're going to start with a warm-up. There are some bacteria in a dish. Every hour, each bacterium splits into 3 bacteria. The diagram shows a bacterium in hour 0, here's your hour 0, and hour 1. What happens in hours 2 and 3, and then how many bacteria are in hours 2 and 3? If you will, pause the video, answer questions 1 and 2, and then come back to the video to check your answers. Okay, if we go to hour 2, we take this bacteria and it has split into 3 bacteria. This bacterium has now split into 3 bacteria, and same with this one. So in hour 2, we end up with 9. Now let's look at hour 3. Okay, if we look at hour 3, now even more so, we take this one and it splits into 3. This one splits into 3, and same thing here. And same thing for all of these. Everything's going to split up into 3. Alright, so this would be hour 3. So now, if you look here, there's a group, let's see, here's a group of 9. Everything split up into groups of 9. So 9 times 3, in hour 3 we end up with 27 bacteria. So it's growing fairly quickly. Alright, so now let's look. Now let's look at 1.2. A genie in a bottle. You are walking along a beach and your toe hits something hard. You reach down, grab onto a handle, and pull out a lamp. It is sandy. You start to brush it off with your towel. Poof! A genie appears. He tells you, "Thank you for freeing me from that bottle. I was getting claustrophobic." You can choose one of these purses as a reward. Purse A. So purse A, which contains $1,000 today. If you leave it alone, it will contain $1,200 tomorrow by magic. The next day it will have $1,400, and then the pattern of $200 additional dollars each day will continue. Whereas if we go to purse B, which contains 1 penny today, leave that penny in there because tomorrow it will magically turn into 2 pennies. The next day there will be 4 pennies. The amount in the purse continues to double each day. So now your question is, how much money will be in each purse after a week, and then after 2 weeks? The genie later added that he will let the money in each purse grow for 3 weeks. How much money will be in each purse then? Which purse contains more money after 30 days? If you will, pause the video. Try to answer 1, 2, and 3. If you draw pictures, that seems to help, like we did in question 1. Alright, go ahead and pause the video and try this out. Okay, let's look at purse A. So in purse A, he started out with $1,000, and then for every single day, it was going to increase by $200. So if we do that for 7 days, we get 200 times 7, which is 1,400, plus your 1,000. So after 1 week, that will increase to $1,500. No, it won't. That will increase to $2,400. Forgot what I was doing. Okay, if we look at purse B, this one's a little bit different. So for purse B, day 1, you just have, or initially you have that 1 penny. Then it's going to double. So I'm going to have 1 penny times 2. So then I'm going to have 2 cents. So this is day 1. Day 2, I'm going to have my penny times the 2 originally from this 2, and then another 2. So now I'm going to have 4 cents. Day 3, I'm going to have my original penny times 2 from day 1, 2 from day 3, 2, and 2 from day 2. So now I'm up to 8 cents. Let's see, I'm going to come down here. Day 4. On day 4, I have my original penny, but I don't want to keep writing all these 2's out. So I'm going to use an exponent. So every time I'm multiplying with 2, so that's my base. But then however many we multiply with, so there's 1, 2, 3. So day 4, we're going to have an exponent of 4. So I have my 1 penny I started with, I'm doubling it every time, and this is day 4. So by this time I'm at 16 cents. Day 5, I have my penny, I have my doubling, and my day 5. And when I type this in, now I'm at 32 cents. Day 6, same pattern, I'm doubling it, and I'm on my 6th day. And when I multiply this out, I'm at 32 cents. I'm at 64 cents. Day 7, I'm at my 1 cent. I have my doubling, and this is day 7, so my exponent's going to be 7. And when I multiply this out, I'm all the way up to $1.28. Even though it doesn't sound much, but remember, we only started with 1 penny on day 1, and by day 7, we're already up to $1.28. All right, so that was just looking at each purse after one week. Now let's look after 2 weeks. So for purse A on week 2, again, we still started with our $1,000. We're going to increase it by $200, but for 2 weeks, we're now at 14 days. Okay, so on here, so 200 times 14 is going to give us 2,800, and then we're going to add 1,000 to that, so we end up, now we're already up to $3,800. But now let's look at purse B for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, let's use the same pattern. So we're at 1 cent. I'm doubling it, so I have 2. And then for 2 weeks, again, we're at 14. If you type that into your calculator, then we end up with $163.84. So this has grown a whole lot faster than this purse. But then the Janie later says that he will actually leave the purse and let it go for 3 weeks. So how much will then be in each purse? Okay, so let's look at this. Now that we have a pattern, this should be pretty quick to find out. Purse A, again, we started with that $1,000. We get that $200 daily, but in 3 weeks, 3 times 7 is 21. So now we're going to have 21 days. Okay, so now when you multiply 200 times 21, and then you add your $1,000 to that, you're at $5,200, which sounds pretty good. But now let's look at purse B. This might surprise you. Purse B, again, let's use this same pattern. So I start with my 1 cent. I'm going to double it now for 21 days. So once you put that in your calculator, you are all the way up to $20,000, $971.52. So look how much more this increased than this one. So you might rethink which purse you would have picked. You know, from the $1,000, that sounds really good versus starting with 1 penny. So which purse contains more money after 30 days? Well, going off what we're seeing, purse B would. And if you let that purse sit there for 30 days, you are going to end up with a lot of money. Okay. So, if things are growing exponentially or things have the exponent with it, it's going to get bigger a whole lot faster, and that's what we're kind of starting to introduce with this unit. So, let's take a second and now let's look at 1.3. And here are graphs showing the amount of money in the purses. Here are the graphs showing how the amount of money in the purses change. Remember, purse A starts with $1,000 and grows with $200 each day, and purse B starts with 1 cent and doubles each day. So here's the graph. Let's see, the red one here is going to be your purse A. And as you notice, it's just going up constantly. It grows constant because we're always adding just $200 to the amount. Where this one up here is going to be purse B, and it's growing up. It stays pretty low at first, and then we're going to look in a second, and then it just starts taking off. So it grows exponentially. And what's happening is you are doubling the day before. Alright, so let's look at this. What I want you to do is pause the video, answer questions 1 through 5, and then come back to the video and make sure you're understanding this material. And if you have questions, please let me know. Shoot me emails. I'll be on live chat. I'll post on Google Classroom what days I'll be on. Which graph, so number 1, which graph shows the amount of money in purse A? Which graph shows the amount of money in purse B? And explain how you know. Well, I kind of already did that for y'all here. So red was purse A, blue, purse B. And then I wrote how you know here. Okay, points P and Q are labeled on the graph. Explain what they mean in terms of the genie's offer. So let's find point P is here. Well, what that means is, point B is talking about 9 days after they found the genie. So point P says 9 days or after 9 days we have $5.12. Where point Q is saying after 5 days, or on day 5, I should say, on day 5, purse A has $2,000. Okay, and how we find that is, here's day 5, and these are counting by 2,000s, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000. Okay, and then right here, I went back and used the math that we did prior. We know it has 1 cent. Here's 1 cent, 2 cent, 4, 8, 16, so on. So I used the math that we used on the previous activity. to get my $5.12. All right, number 3. What are the coordinates? So remember, coordinates, you have to write them as an ordered pair of the vertical intercept of each graph and explain how you know. Well, remember, vertical intercepts of anything is always your initial amount or your starting amount. So for purse A, remember we started, so at day 0, we started with $1,000. Purse B, remember on day 0, we started with 1 cent. So that, and then that's how we know. It's always your initial amount. Okay, when does purse B become a better choice than purse A, and explain? So let's follow purse B here. And it's completely under purse A, under, and then it looks like right here it overtakes it. So how many days do we have to wait for it to become higher? So there's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So on day 19, the amount in the purse B is greater than the amount in purse A. Okay, knowing what you know now, which purse would you choose, and explain your reasoning? Again, that's opinionated. Obviously, now that we've seen this graph and see how quickly we can make money starting with 1 cent, hopefully we choose purse B. Okay, so now that is all of lesson 1. So when we repeatedly double a positive number, it eventually becomes very large. Let's start with 1,000th. The table shows what happens when we start doubling it. So all we're doing is taking this number, multiplying it by 2. Okay, we're doubling it every time. If you want to continue this process, it is convenient to use an exponent. For example, the last entry of this table, 16th 1,000th, or thousandths, has been doubled 4 times. So for this one, so we would just change our exponent for each time that we double. Even though we started out with a very small number, we don't have to double it that many times to start reaching a very large number. For example, if we double this one 30 times, so here's how we would write that out. The result is greater than 1 million. Throughout this unit, we will look at many situations where quantities grow or decrease by applying the same factor repeatedly. Okay, so at this time, you will need to complete the exit ticket that I have on your weekly checklist, and then tomorrow you will need to complete your cool down for lesson 1. You also have a Delta Math assignment, and I know we've never done Delta Math before. You have a Delta Math assignment, and I've walked you through it. You can wait till Friday to complete that whole assignment, or you can work on it daily. And I'm going to post a video to help, which y'all should be able to do 2-step equations. But I'll post a video just to make sure if y'all need any help with that one. All right, if you have any questions, please shoot me an email or log into our chat time. Thank you.